Welcome to Protea Conversations. My name is Zane Stevens. I'm the founder of Protea Financial, and today we get to talk to Jennifer.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Jennifer, quickly just tell us who you are, what your role is at Protea, and where you're based.
I am based in California, and I am an account manager for Protea Financial.
Great. Well, this is the second time you're being on Protea Conversations, and we'll drop a link to the first video uh, in the description of the video so that you guys can go check that out as well. We learn a lot more about Jennifer as she sort of went through her history and her past. But for anybody else that's only watching this video for the first time, can you give us the 90-second introduction on where you came from before you joined Protea?
Where I came from the rental industry. I was in the rental industry for about 11 years. I worked in the poultry industry for 3 years, and I've been in the wine industry for, yeah, I don't even keep track anymore. 10 plus years. We'll just say 10 plus years.
For a while.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And part of the reason for this video is in 2023 you celebrated 5 years of Protea, so congrats on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
Definitely not your longest stint at any position, but we're working towards trying to beat that previous record. Um, Tell us a little bit about your time at Protea. Tell us about the 5 years and whatever 4 months or whatever it is. How's it been?
Wow, it seems like 10 years, but I just love my job. I love the people I work with. We're all like a family. I think coming from different backgrounds and working in different spaces, some being in office full time, some being hybrid, and some being full time based remote, I truly appreciate that I work for a company that is remotely based, which gives me more work life balance. Um, and I just love doing what we do. I mean, I love helping our clients and giving them, peace of mind when we're giving them their financials and that kind of stuff. So I've always been in the accounting space for some capacity, regardless where I've worked. So I really do enjoy what I do. But I think what I enjoy the most is just the people aspect, whether it's internal or external customers.
That's great. Obviously, based on your history, you haven't always been in the wine space, and not all of your day-to-day work is wine. You do have some non-wine clients all scattered in between there, but we'll say mostly in the wine space. How do you feel about being in the wine industry and the challenges that it brings to our customers?
I really enjoy being in the wine industry. It comes with its own challenges, but I think any industry has its own challenges and things to overcome. I think, working for Protea, well, let me backtrack. Working for wineries themselves or on the production side for in the wine space before coming to Protea, I think really has helped me give our customers the best support possible because I know what's happening on the ground. I understand what's going on. I understand the cork and the glass side of things. So um uh I just think I don't know.
I mean, you've obviously been in it a while, so you've seen the ups and downs, and we are in a little bit of a downward cycle for the wine space at the moment. Um, how do you think it is in these difficult situations? How do you think we can be helpful to our clients and sort of helping them navigate through the trickier times ahead of them?
Budgeting, cash forecasting are key. Providing the financials in a timely manner within the 10th business day, if not sooner, if we can. The sooner that we can flag things to our clients, the sooner that they can pivot and make the right business decisions for themselves. But it really is about providing our services and just providing information in a timely manner because nobody likes to get their financials on like the 20th day of the month and it's month end again. Like that doesn't help anybody out make any business decision.
Yeah, that's always so important. Most people and I begrudgingly use outsourced accounting a lot of the time because, like, oh, that's the only option we have. But the biggest complaint I always heard before I started Protea was it takes so long. Outsourced accounting is so slow. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job at sort of combating that narrative a little bit. You mentioned the 10th business day, which we obviously try to pride ourselves in hitting. Uh, we don't always do it. 99% of the time, it's for reasons outside of our own control.
Mm-hmm.
But we do the best we can. And, it's important to hear sort of getting that information early, allowing them to make decisions. Obviously, all we can do is provide them with the information. Not much we can do from there. And I'm sure you've gone through that. You've got at least two larger clients that have been with you since pretty much day one at this point.
Yep.
And big, deep relationships that have been built with those two clients. So how do you navigate that type of situation with these longer term clients where we're getting the information, sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. Obviously, it's their business, so do what you like, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I know it must come with some frustration where you're like, I told you this is the answer, but you had to go a different direction to sort of figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, I think I told you this is the answer is definitely a common word of mine. So you hit
Mhm.
that one on the spot, but they usually don't figure that out till months down the road. But you're right. We don't own those companies, right? We try to provide them a service. So, as frustrating as it may be sometimes when they're not listening to the advices that we're giving them, based off the information that we're seeing, it is ultimately up to their decision. And we just have to walk away being like, we gave you guys the best product forward to make the best decision for your company. If you realize it down the road, later down the road, well, that's great. And sometimes they do realize it. And when they do realize it, they're like, oh my God, you were right. Like it just brings more, it builds trust too, right? So the trust, the relationships, you mentioned that I've had some for, 5 years, and you become really close to those clients, and you just want to do a good job as an employee of Protea, but also like making sure when you're working on their things, you're like zoned in to what their situation is, not the outside noise that can happen in the wine industry, but what's specific to them that they may be struggling with.
That's a really good point. Sometimes we can, the narrative can lead decisions rather than the facts, and trying to give them that information to allow them to work from facts is really important.
Mhm.
So 5 years of Protea, I think, one of the things that has been constant since you've been here is obviously change. We all have gone through some weird stuff the last couple of years. 2020 was a weird year and it didn't get much better in 2021. And then at Protea, 2022 was a crazy year with significant growth, a bunch of new faces. And, this year is interesting in its own right because our clients are seeing a lot of change. I know sort of a lot of turnover of people, changing ideas. So constant is change. How's that been? I mean, I know it's the truth everywhere you go, there's always change, but
Mhm.
in a fairly dynamic environment that we work in with multiple clients and multiple people in different continents, how have you felt about I guess, the constant change that seems to be taking place around us?
I would say pivoting. I think that's the word that I've always used in my career is to pivot. You got to pivot with change. You can't let always change affect your perception or your persona of what your end product is. And I think change is common everywhere you go. Change is common in our personal lives, professional, and it's just how you deal with change, right? Change can be really trying at times, but you got to learn from it. There's some underlining lesson in change. What that is, sometimes you may not know right away, but I highly believe that there is something. There's a reason why sometimes we're being challenged, right? Whether it's Zane challenging us on a question and keeps drilling into it, or our clients are challenging us, or my family's challenging me. I think change is just part of our everyday life because man, life would be boring, like straight up boring if there wasn't those challenges.
Yeah, true, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of boring every now and then. Just give me a week of boring, once a year. I would appreciate that. It would
So
make life a lot easier.
yes, if you find that week of boring, can I join you? Because I also would love that week of boring.
Yeah, probably be that first week when I'm in my grave one day. But we'll, we'll see when that happens.
Oh yeah, yeah. I hope
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, hopefully if we're that old, we're not still working, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about the team a little bit. Obviously, there's been some major changes, especially in the last, I don't know, 12, 18 months, where we saw
Mhm.
tons of growth last year. brought in a bunch of new people to just keep up with the, the major demand that we had. I mean, what are your thoughts on that and some, high level insight of just like how the team has grown? I mean, there's 39 of us now. It's no longer just a small team.
No, it's mind-blowing, to be quite honest. This week we're going to get together on the US side for the first time since the shutdown. And I was just talking to one of my colleagues and I was like, remember when we used to sit around that little round table? I'm like, if we're back in that room, we'd be sitting on top of each other on the floor, because the US team in itself has pretty much doubled. We'll say it pretty close to doubled. And so has the South African team. And I think for me, coming into a young company, I'll just call it a young company at the time, you know what they're going to grow. You're going to have those challenges. And the only way to grow is to struggle a little bit. And for me to sit back here 5 years later, at this point in my career, is like, wow, like we went through a pandemic. We helped our clients. We gave the best service possible. And we were one of those companies that grew. And it's amazing to me how many employees that we have that are beyond even 1 or 2 years of service that work with Protea. So that to me says a lot about the company. It says a lot about the team. And really, when we talk about team, I look at it as everybody as family. It doesn't matter to me if they're stationed in the US or they're in South Africa. We all are working for the same common goal, and it's to help our clients grow, but it's to help each other grow. And I think that says a lot about a company that allows that space for growth, and not just for the company to grow as a whole, but for individuals to grow.
Well, you know how I feel about it, right? So you let individuals do well, it's going to help everybody. So that's always my number one focus. But you talk about us obviously being a pretty young company when you came in, around about 5 years old at that point, and we're going to get through the busy season, and we'll hit 10 years of Protea, which personally I'm like, holy, didn't expect that to happen. But yeah, we are, and it would just like to sort of get your thoughts. I think you've touched on a lot of it, just the surprise and the growth and all of that. But what are your thoughts about us approaching 10 years?
I think it's amazing. I think we need to do something fantastic. I think it says a lot about companies. A lot of companies, they either make it or break it by the 10th year. So I think that we are making it. I think it's great. I mean, Zane, it says a lot about you too, right? It says a lot about whatever. It says a lot about the ownership and what you believe, because it all comes from trust. And I think trust grows teams, trust grows companies. And to hit 10 years, that says huge volumes about the teams too, because the team has helped us all get to where we are. Like, I don't take any one piece of credit. It's highly as a group effort. And like I said, it really does speak a lot to you, Zane. I mean, you do hire us, you do interview us, you do look at us and be like, do I want this person to be a member of our family? So
Yeah, I mean, I try to work in the simple fact of hire good people, give them the right tools, and give them the trust to be successful, and hopefully it works out. And if it doesn't, they can go find another place to be successful. I'm happy to help them find that other place as well. And as long as we're all working together for the same goal, which is, a simpler, more flexible life where we can, work as part of our life rather than it is our life. I think we all got the opportunity to be successful, and I'm very, very thankful for just having some great people around me for 10 years, well, nearly 10 years, and just being able to rely on people to get their work done, just get shit done.
get shit done. I love it. Where do you, I know it's asking me the questions, but now I'm curious. Where do you see yourself 15 years from? Where do you see the company 15 years from now?
No idea.
No idea, huh?
I take it year by year. I'm just focused on our clients right now, focused on our people right now. And for the exact same team in 15 years with the exact same clients, I'd be super happy. If we're twice the size, okay, that means we're helping more people.
Yeah. Wow. That's hard to think about, like 5 to 10 years from now being twice the size. That's we better expand some office space in South Africa to be twice that size.
Yeah, no, for sure. We would definitely outgrow the space we have there. um, you know, even though it only gets used infrequently.
Exactly.
So talking about your time here, just about 5.5 years or approaching that, share with us like one of your favorite memories of your time at Protea.
Um, Giving back, taking the time out of our day to, volunteer at the Redwood Food Bank. I think that's really is an awesome thing that we do. We've done it the past couple years off the top of my head. Um, and I feel like that shows, that is a form of teamwork as well, right? So it's taking something and doing something together as a team, helping our community. And I appreciate that about Protea because it's, we got to be present in our own community and help others who are less fortunate. So those types of things speak volume, which goes hand in hand with like donating to charities or other causes that we are able to do.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and obviously we've got the Protea Conversation interviews, not the videos that you're seeing right now, where we give a donation to an annual charity based on each interview. We obviously have the employee allocation to provide to the charity of their choice. And then we do have the volunteer time once a year with Redwood Empire Food Bank, which are a great organization that make it really easy to volunteer, which is nice. Not all charity donations in
Mhm.
this great country of the USA make it easy to help out. And they do, and they appreciate every single person. They have an annual banner they put up with all the volunteer names, and your name gets on there, even if you're just there once,
Mhm.
which shows that they truly care. And going into next year, we're going to try help with another community project that we're working on at the moment. It's called the Series Project, where they provide in-house, food for people, especially with developed out of cancer patients, and trying to help them out as well in any way possible. It's a little bit more complicated because it is a proper working kitchen. So working towards how we can help them into the next year.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome. I love that.
I guess the last question for today, uh, been working in this remote world now for just over 5 years, very remote since 2020. What are your best advice to anybody joining Protea or anybody entering a workforce where it is fully remote on how to be successful in a digital world?
Uh, Communication is key. Really, it's communication because if you can't communicate to your audience, you are not going to be successful. I think it's pivoting on the different types of communication and who you're talking to, being very clear in your communication. And it's not just email communication, it's verbal communication. It's knowing when to get on a Zoom call. It's knowing when sometimes maybe the email is just going around and around and it's just cycling and nobody's getting anywhere to jump on those calls. So I think it's about communication is key, and also some sort of routine, right? Working remotely, you can kind of make your own schedule for sure, but also, know your day-to-day stuff, what has to be done for our clients and what you need to do personally, maybe in your personal life too, and how does that look for you? Because what one routine may look like to me may look very different to you, right? So it's what works. But with all that being said, the biggest takeaway for me is definitely communication, because I've worked remote now for 5 years. That is true. My previous job, I worked 2 to 3 days a week remote, so I was already starting in that process of working remote. And so I kind of learn the challenges a little bit too before I came to Protea. So I think it really is about communication. It's about, routine. It's about scheduling sometimes. And you know what? Whatever works for one doesn't work for another one. But I think no matter what it is, communication is the key. It's being able to talk open and honestly with your internal and external customers and building that trust. Because if you don't build that trust, working remotely doesn't really work, especially with your employer, right? Because they're like, are they working or are they not working?
Yeah, trust is key. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time today. It was great to have you on Protea Conversation.
Thank you.